Lunch Hour.
All right, so we're rolling the camera. Konnor, it's like the fourth time I've said this. Well, what's going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for taking the time. Listen, I've been hearing a lot about you over these last couple months. A lot of stuff from Perfect Game, and then obviously other people have been telling me. Quite the baseball player from what I've heard. And I guess I wanted just to take it back from the beginning, I guess, because you seem like baseball has been kind of rooted in your family and in you, I guess, your whole life pretty much. So I just want to go back to the very beginning and just kind of see kind of where all that started.
Yeah, of course. It started at a young age, playing t-ball, and then eventually getting into coach pitch, and then I really didn't take it serious at the time. I was just playing because I was a kid, and that's what baseball is. It's a kid's game, and things didn't really start getting serious until I was about 12 years old. I started playing in some big Perfect Game tournaments and getting my name out there, performing well, and eventually got invited to some bigger events, some big showcase events, and then it just really took off from there. About 13 years old.
So you were 13 then, and how old are you now?
I'm 16 now.
16 years old.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're number one in the class in the country for your class.
So in Perfect Game, I'm ranked number 2, but then there's another ranking called Baseball America, and I'm number 1 in that one. So I mean,
who? I'm just curious. Who's number 1 on Perfect Game?
There's a guy from California. His name is Derek Curio. He's going to LSU as well. He's a really good player. Yeah.
So what was kind of like you? I guess because you've always been into the sport,
right?
But did you have anybody? Did you have anybody that kind of influenced you on, I guess, kind of pursuing the game a little bit harder than just doing it?
I mean, I'd have to say my dad probably, because he's a college softball coach, and he was always taking me to tournaments and just walking around the house when I was young. He always had baseball on the TV, and I always got to see those pro guys playing, and then that's kind of where I just had the dream of that. I wanted to be a baseball player when I grow up, and I just have to say my dad. He pushed me the hardest. He always took me to hit BP and play catch with me and stuff like that. So yeah, my dad.
Did your dad have like any kind of a baseball background? Like, did he play when he was younger or anything like that?
Yeah, he played when he was younger. He was a pretty good player. He didn't go to college to play baseball, but he was a big basketball player. So
which you are too. I've seen
yeah.
And you seem like you do very well at that too. Have you ever been approached by anybody to do like a basketball, like in college or anything like that?
No, I've never been approached by any college recruiters who want me to come play basketball. Just I play basketball just for fun and just to help my team win some championships, and it's just something else to do besides baseball.
I'm sure you can dunk, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I can't. I guess so. So when did you kind of start to realize that you had some serious talent, and that you knew that you could do very well at this, and not just do well, but kind of exceed expectations and play at those higher levels, like here at Jackson Prep?
I'd say in about 7th grade, I started getting recruited by some colleges in 7th grade, which at the time was crazy because I'm still super young at that time. But I was performing well. I just remember some big events that summer I was going to, and just competing with the best of them, and got my name out there. And then I started getting contacted by some big SEC schools, and then that's really when I sat down and thought, I was like, wow, this could go somewhere.
So you said you were getting in contact with some SEC schools. How many, if you can answer this, how many like current OVs you've been on, and if you planned? I know you've committed to LSU, but if you've planned on going on any more?
I mean, I'm committed to LSU. That the process was a very long process because getting recruited in 7th grade, I didn't commit anywhere. I just started talking to coaches, started getting building relationships with those guys, and I finally made my decision to commit to LSU in 11th grade. So I had like 4 or 5 years to just talk to those guys, and I talked to probably 30 something schools, and I just narrowed it down, and then I took my 5 official visits. I went to LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn, and Texas A&M. Those were my five schools that I love the best, and I thought I could play at any one of those. And then it was a really hard process trying to narrow down to just one school, because SEC schools are all amazing.
It's
Crazy.
probably the best in all. I mean, but baseball and football, I think, is probably top level for college athletics.
No doubt.
So as far as SEC, because you said the SEC was kind of your main. Well, hold on, I'll ask this first. So, I guess so. You said you started to be recruited around 7th grade.
Right.
What was that kind of like? Because I guess because I know a couple guys who committed when they were in 9th grade, 10th grade. You committed when you were in 11th grade,
Right.
which I think is probably one of the best times to start to do that. So I guess when you're starting off in 7th grade, you're about 13 years old. So when you're being I guess looked at that young, did you ever feel like any pressure, or like maybe that if these coaches liked you more, you should lean more towards them, or was it kind of just do whatever you wanted to do type deal?
I mean, I'd say there was a little bit of pressure. I just remember my first call I ever made was to Vanderbilt, and when I tell you I was so nervous, I was sweating talking to that coach. I mean, because I was so young, I didn't really know. But with my dad being a college softball coach, he knows a lot about the recruiting process, and so he really just guided me through it, just to take my time, and just this process was going to go how I wanted it to go, because they're recruiting me. I'm not having to do anything for them. I get to take my time with it. So just taking my time, and just taking it slow, just because I want to find a place that fit best for me.
And what we were talking about before we started, talking about Baton Rouge. I actually talked about Baton Rouge on an episode of my own. Talking about it's quite a fun place.
It is.
And I guess with you, obviously, you seem like the kind of guy who can balance, who is kind of leans more towards the grind and all that, than versus obviously socially you're pretty well known, man. So I was looking on TikTok, it was what, like 94,000, and then Instagram is 18,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's well over 100,000 people who just know who you are. So my next thing is that how do you kind of grasp all that? Because I'm waiting for that. With me, I'm waiting to get that 94,000, and for you, like going viral on TikTok, in my opinion, it's easy. And you just gotta, but with you, it's talent that you're displaying, and that's what people were tuning in.
Right.
So my question is that when you started getting all that attention, like those 94,000 followers and those 18,000 followers, did that ever feel kind of like overwhelming? You're like, oh, I don't know, or you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I got 94,000 people that are wanting to know more about me.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I started really getting pretty viral on TikTok around when COVID started. I was just making some little baseball videos, and then it kind of blew up from there. And then I kind of started taking it serious, where I put a lot of like mixtape videos of me doing stuff together and posting it and getting it out there. And just with people following me, I just want to be a good influence to the world. Spread a positive and have a positive impact on the people who are watching my videos. And I'm a big Christian guy. My faith is huge to me, and just getting that out there is something I wanted to do. And the more people who follow me, the more people I'm getting the word out to. So that's
and I see that you're very active on Twitter, like reposting stuff all the time, and I see that you read Bible verses on Twitter to your followers to kind of, like you said, kind of get a good message out. Which is, for a kid who at your age, you're 16 years old, you would think that, or at least I would think that a 16-year-old would be doing a lot of different things on Twitter rather than reading Bible verses. So I think it's really cool to see you kind of do that. It's different from a lot of these other young guys who are, talking about themselves a lot, and you're very humble, which is something I wanted to get to, because I like to think I'm humble sometimes. And I wanted to ask if you think if being humble is kind of is kind of goes into a part of your play style, your game, or because a lot of kids, especially when they're young and they're very, very talented like you,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of like to boast about it, or they'll
Oh,
go
yeah.
out on Twitter and say, "I
Yeah.
just hit this 430-foot home run,
Yeah.
whatever," or
Yeah.
"I threw 97." We all know what you can do, but you don't actually, unless if it's like a diss situation when
Right.
someone's asking you questions.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what would you kind of say how humbleness kind of goes into your game?
Yeah, my parents, I have to say they raised me well to just to be a humble person. I know this game it could be taken away from me at any time.
Right.
So, but yeah, I have a lot of followers and a lot of people looking at me, and I could be cocky about it, but I choose not to, just because I have a reality of where I'm trying to be one day.
Mhm.
I'm not the best in the world yet, and I know I have a lot of work to be done. And just with that being said, like I have to go out there and play hard and
Yeah.
compete every single time I step on the field. There's no, even if I did something good in the past, that has nothing to do with how the future is going to end up looking like. So just going out there and just being humble and playing the game the right way.
One of a good quote that I heard from Joe Burrow, he says, work and succeed in silence."
Right. Yeah.
Kind of, obviously you make those cool little highlight reels, which
Mhm.
obviously everyone, even myself including, loves watching those. So the whole working in silence thing is something that I like to think about. And I think a lot of people should kind of lean more towards that, because I think it's a lot better, or it's cooler kind of showing off your success kind of way later after it's already happened,
Yeah.
rather than building it up, whether you're saying, "Well, this is going to happen, just wait," and whether just doing it right when it happens instead of just kind of building it up. So you are not you are you were you born and raised in Are you from Mississippi and all that? Okay.
Born and raised.
But you've been at prep for a year, I want to say, close to a year.
I transferred to prep in 8th grade.
Mhm.
In 8th grade, so that would be 9th grade, and then I reclassed
You
up. So
reclassed.
I skipped 10th grade. So I've been here for two
So
2 years.
could you explain the reclass thing to me? Because I know you're generally you're in 11th grade right now,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to be in 10th grade, but
Right.
you reclass,
Yeah.
or you can explain it. I don't know.
Yeah. I decided to reclass because first that allowed me to take my official visits for college. I was
Mhm.
kind of ready to get that
Yeah.
process going, and so I had some good advice from I have an agent. His name's Joey Devine, and we talked about it a lot. Talked about the reclass and the benefits and stuff like that. So I had to take a bunch of summer classes to get ahead in school, and right now I'm taking 10th and 11th grade classes. Just it's a lot of schoolwork, but I feel like it's going to put me in a spot for right after high school to either choose go to college, or if my future is in the MLB and it's going to happen earlier, then that's going to put me in a good spot for that right out of high school. So just it was a good decision, and I think it was the best for me because it's putting me out of high school at a younger age,
Yeah.
and I think I'll be right at 18 graduating. So that's a great age to be going into college or
Mhm.
going into the draft.
Yeah. Um, is it kind of hard to balance all that schoolwork, and also, I mean, because you probably need to put just as amount as time in classroom as you do out on the field. So
Right.
for me, I always had a hard time managing. I mean, I didn't play a whole lot of sports in high school, but balancing school and balancing the work on the field, is they go hand in hand, because the
Mhm.
coaches are obviously, they're always looking at,
Right.
whether you think they are or not, they're always checking the grade book and seeing, if you're doing
Mhm.
well or not. So I just wanted to kind of figure out, what is it like to balance both of those.
Yeah, it can get tough at times. It seems like there's a period of time where you feel like, dang, school's not even hard right now.
Mhm.
I'm playing sports, like this is easy, and then like this past weekend, I have like some projects to do and got to write a paper and not getting enough sleep for the games that are coming up in the week, and it kind of just happens like that. But for the most part, school it's not too bad. I'm pretty I'm pretty good at getting my work done. I'm trying to get my homework done at school and stuff like that. And the classes aren't too bad. I'm trying to manage 11th and 10th grade classes at the same time. It's been a pretty easy thing to do, but I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it is. So I'd say for the most part, it's been pretty easy.
What's your favorite class?
Shoot, I'll probably have to say chemistry. I like science.
Neat.
Yeah.
I didn't even take chemistry in high school.
Really?
I took physical science, which is just like a watered down version of chemistry, pretty much. But chemistry, you're both like my brother. My brother liked chemistry a lot too. So another thing that I wanted to ask is making the move to come to Jackson Prep. I got off topic from that, but to come into Prep, because originally before Prep you were where?
I was at Florence
High
Public
School.
School.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's right. That's on 49, I want to say.
Yeah. Right off 49. Yep.
I go to Southern, so I pass it all the
Mhm.
time. And I've played on that football field before,
Right.
just like a jamboree before.
Yeah.
So what was kind of, because your brother, he goes there, right? And he I saw on Twitter that he's going to Kahoma.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I'm very proud of him. He finally decided to make that decision, and he wasn't gonna play baseball after high school, but he decided that he wanted to continue to play, and you know I think that's great for him to have a college to go to. And
did you kind of influence him on that to kind of keep playing? And
I mean, I didn't really have much say in it. He kind of made that decision on his own. I was kind of shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was talking to schools until one day he came home and told me. So it was all him. But you know, that him being my older brother, we grew up playing together, playing in the backyard, wiffle ball and all that type of stuff. And you know, it just makes me proud to know that he's going to another college and gonna get to continue playing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So back to coming to Prep. So what was kind of the motive or the draw, I guess, to kind of head over this way? Because in Florence to here, it's not that far, right? Like
about
25 minutes.
I have to drive it every day.
So what was kind of the motivation to get over here?
I played travel ball with Coach Powell, his son, and Coach Powell, he coached me in travel ball, and you know they kind of influenced me to make the move to Prep, just because it's a really good baseball school. They have many guys like Jake Mangum, Jerrion Ely, you know, Gene Wood, all these guys that are moving on to the next level. This Jackson Prep has had a lot of guys do that, and you know, once I started getting serious about baseball, I wanted to put myself in a situation where I'm gonna get my name out there and I'm gonna be seen. And you know, moving over here, I got in contact with a lot of colleges just because Coach Heavy and Coach Powell, they have connections with guys, and you know that was good for me to move over here and start playing for those guys and just learning the game more.
You've been enjoying it so far. I mean, obviously you won a state title last year, and I mean, obviously it looks like, just based on what my dad and I have talked about, it looks like Prep's going to be looking for another one this year, and then that'll be how many in a row? 6, 7?
6.
You don't know?
It'll be 6.
You can talk. It's not like you can 7. Yeah,
it'll be 6.
Okay, 6. Okay, so it'll be 6 in a row.
Yeah,
that's great. And for people who don't know about, well, I guess I can ask about that. I mean, so moving to Prep, and you obviously knew about the history that Prep had, especially with its players, like you said, Ely, and Jake Mangum. Who Ely, didn't he throw out the first pitch recently?
Yeah, he did.
Against
the
MRA?
Yep.
Did you get to? One of my things on here is that, have you ever like spoken to any of those guys like Ely or Jake Mangum? I personally do not know Jake Mangum, but I do know Ely. But I just wanted to see if you've kind of talked to them, or maybe kind of, because moving to a new school can be intimidating. I mean, I've had to do it before. I went from a small St. Joe's 4A school, or a small private school to a big 6A public school.
Right. Yeah.
So I know the move can be a little intimidating. So I kind of wanted to get and feel what it was like for you when you first came to Prep, and if you just got right in, or if it was more of a bit of an adjustment.
I'd say it was a bit of an adjustment just because going to Florence, public schools are way different than private school.
Mhm.
You know, I went to Florence, and you know, it's the most country school around here. Like people showing up to school in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And now I moved to prep, and you know, you're wearing uniform, and but you know, it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, and you know, I adapted quickly. I knew a lot of guys over here
Mhm.
already just through playing travel ball and things like that, and you know, with the baseball program, they moved me up. My first year here, I was in 8th grade. About the time of the playoffs were coming around, I got moved up and I did some base running and stuff like that. But like Mason Nichols, who's
Mhm.
at Ole Miss now, he really took me under his wing.
Yeah,
You know,
he's a good
just
guy. Yeah.
guided me as I was, you know, the youngest on the team, like an 8th grader. I was like intimidated by
Oh, yeah.
all the seniors,
yeah.
and you know, I'm just thankful for those guys, especially like Mason and Riley Maddox and all those guys. They were great people, and you know, they helped me adapt, and it was the easy
So
transition.
they really just kinda took you in and
Yeah.
really just made your experience all the better
Yeah,
to
yeah.
adapt into a school like prep
Yeah,
versus
they
before.
could they could have easily like to say, "Hey, he's an 8th grader. We're not even gonna have anything to do with
Mhm.
him." But you know, that's just not how the prep program is. Everybody's a family, and
Yeah.
they took me right in.
Yeah. I mean, people often a big common misconception about me is that I went to school here. I did not. I never went to school here, but everyone always asked me, "Did you go to prep? Did you go to prep?" And I was like, "No, I never went." But it's because when I was in high school and first and you know middle school and growing up and all that stuff, I spent a lot of time here, going to my brother's football games, practices, y'all's baseball games. I mean, I've been around here a lot, and you said it's like a family, you know. And I people who have graduated, you know, years ago, I still keep up with sometimes, and so even though I think it's kind of cool that you said that, how I've never been here, I never attended school here, but you know, they treat me like I am.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, you know, invite me to parties and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it really makes you feel kind of welcome because I guess that was kind of one of my biggest things was kind of I never was a big fan of like rejection or like public rejection
Mhm.
and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
So for all them to be really welcoming for me, it's a really good thing to see.
no doubt.
Um so Coach Hebner, did you know anything about him prior to being here? And my question on here is, what has he kind of done to make you a better player, or not maybe off the field and on the field?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about him before I came over here. All I really knew was about Coach Powell.
Mhm.
But once I got over here, Coach Hebner, he took me under his wing, and you know, he guided me. He helped me get in touch with some college coaches, and you know, I'd say that's a big thing he's done for me is just help me get my name out there as well. And you know, on and off the field, he's a great guy. He wants us to, you know, go out there and play hard every time we step on the field and never take it for granted because he always mentions that this game could be taken away in like a matter of seconds. So just you know, he's taught me to go out there and have fun and you know just smile a little bit when I'm out there on the field because it's a kid's game and you know this game is it can get frustrating at times, but just to you know go out there and have fun and compete and Coach Heavy he's a great guy. He's a great role model.
Yeah,
He,
he's been very successful here over
yeah,
these last
very
couple.
successful. He's a great coach as well, and you know his whole family. They're always at the game. He has a great family. Just getting to know them
Yeah,
very well
yeah,
now that I've been here for a few years. So he's just a great person all around.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so I wanted to kind of veer back towards the like attention wise that not only that you get. So how does it feel? I mean, I guess, you know, with prep obviously having the amount of accolades that it does with all the titles and all that stuff. How does it feel to kind of be at a program like this and not only the attention that you have, it comes along with it. Because
Right.
then people are gonna start coming like more, I guess, major league scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I first saw first saw a major league scout at a game before, I was completely like in awe. I was like, they work with major league guys and all that stuff. So I guess what's it kind of been like to, if you think you have kind of brought more attention to prep and kind of get focused on maybe these other guys in the locker room who have talent and potential to be at a higher level, and you being here just kind of makes them get more noticeable.
Yeah, for sure. The Jax Prep program, it's a nationally known program. Even before I got here, like all the guys we've mentioned already, they set the tone for what the program is like, and just coming in, just trying to play my role and just kind of developing through the program as well. Once I finally got my name out there and got pretty well known, it definitely brought some attention to our games. A lot of people are showing up to watch it. Not only me, but we got a ton of D1 commits on our team. You got Duncan Matthews, Reeves Reynolds, and you got Graham Busby, Ford, all these guys that are committed, and especially like Matthew Cochran as well. I forgot to mention him, but these guys,
he wanted to make sure that we mentioned his.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gonna mention everybody. But no, like with these people coming to watch us, that gives the younger guys an opportunity to be seen, whether that's in a JV game or anything like that. I know a few guys have already been in contact with some of these same schools that I talked to, so it's just cool to see that happen, and I'm proud of those guys as well, because that's a big accomplishment, when you're talking to a college coach.
Oh yeah,
So,
it can feel a little bit pressure, but also can be like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. I'm talking to a coach. So you said that you went to 5 visits, correct?
Right.
So 2 of those whom are former national champions, Ole Miss and State,
right.
and you committed to LSU. So what was kind of the I guess the decision to commit to LSU? Because if it were me, I'd definitely commit to a school where I know I could win a national title. And obviously, and LSU is definitely at potential to win national championship. They're a very, very good program. So I guess what was kind of the move, or what made you want to get over to down to Baton Rouge?
I'd just say the way Jay Johnson recruited me. I just remember multiple Zoom calls of him just breaking down my swing, and that's what I want. I want a coach to make me better, and it just seemed like if I go to LSU, that's an everyday thing that I would get. It's Coach Johnson, just making me better. I fell in love with the town, and the program, and just seeing, like, even this weekend when they were playing Tennessee, seeing all the fans that were at the game that just love.
It was a sellout. Didn't they have a sellout recently?
Yeah, it was like 13,068 people there. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Coach Johnson, he's going to do a great job with the program, and with all the other coaches there as well. I just feel like I'm going to be developed into the player I want to be. And if I go to college, I'm going there to not only win a national championship, that's going to be the main goal, but also to develop into the player that can succeed at the next level. And I feel like Jay Johnson is going to do a great job of that.
So a question that I have is so there's one guy that kind of reminds me of you because y'all are kind of in the same position. I don't know if you know Braden Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
So he reminds me a lot like you because y'all were receiving a lot of national attention at a young age. Both are committed, or he's at Stanford, but both committed to Division I baseball schools.
Right.
What is, I guess, the separation between playing D1 baseball versus choosing to commit to the draft and go start off playing in the minor leagues?
It all eventually comes down to like where you go in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it's gonna be a tough decision because I have a great opportunity to go get developed at LSU, and right now that's the only thing guaranteed after high school is going to LSU. So that's where my mindset is right now, is going to LSU. But until some of these pro teams make a decision that they want to take me high in the draft, and give me the money that they think I should get. Right now I'm going to LSU, and that's like I said, that's my mindset. So, and like the draft isn't guaranteed, so I've thought about it before. Not just before, I think about it a lot. Just because with my agent and my family, like, this is something we got to talk about.
Yeah.
But right now just still in high school, trying to win 2 more state championships while I'm here. And that's where my mind is right now.
So one thing that I had on here is that you said that one of your biggest accomplishments was playing for the USA team.
Right.
And it was, if I'm not mistaken, they were like 15 guys in the whole country, and you were one of the 15.
Yeah.
So I guess if you have anything you want to talk about with playing with the USA team, I know that's a incredible, accolade to have. So I guess what was that kind of a process like for you to being selected to play for a team like that?
Yeah. So I was trying out for the 15U national team at the time. So I went to Cary for, I think it was about a week and a half, and there's 30 something guys there, and we're every single day getting up at 6 a.m., getting to the field. You got to practice, then you go back to the hotel, you get a lunch, and then you go back and play a game. Like it's a grind. It's like you're like in the minor leagues, and you're trying to make sure your body is good and well and rested, just so you can perform your best. And it was a fun time trying to try out for that team, but it was also very mentally challenging. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that experience, just because I didn't succeed there like I wanted to. There was some really good competition there, but I found ways to get on base and make the better pitch and stuff like that, and I ended up making the team, which was crazy. Like that's probably one of the happiest days of my life, because you're sitting in a room with all 30 guys, and then the head coach comes in and he starts reading off the names to make it, and you're just sitting there so like stressed out, and like but once he called my name, I was just so relieved. I remember we went out of the hotel, the people who made it, we all started like jumping up and down and stuff, and then I remember walking in the lobby of the hotel, and I see my mom, just running to her, and we just both started crying. It was crazy. It's just something I want to do again. Like this summer coming up, I have a chance to make the 18U team.
Yeah.
It goes from 15, nothing in 16 or 17, but then you can make an 18U team. And so that's going to be one of my big goals this upcoming year, is to make that team.
And when is like tryouts for that? When do they do the selection for that team?
So I got invited. There 100 guys get invited to this league called the PDP League in North Carolina. It's a 10-day thing over the early parts of June, early parts of July. And so I'll be there for 10 days. You're playing games, and then they eventually select about 40 or 50 guys to get selected to come to the trials. And so the 18U trials will be like late August, like they start on the 28th and go through September like 3rd or something. So after the trials are over, that's kind of the same process the 15U was, where they get in a room and then they select the team from that after a whole week of playing games and stuff. And if I make the team, we'll get a little break. I get to go home for a little bit, but then a few days later I'll fly out to, I think, somewhere in Florida, and then we practice, and then we'll head out to either like Tokyo or Japan to go play.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a World Baseball Classic, but just
did you watch
18-year-olds.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, did you watch the game between America and Japan?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, I turned it on because I heard that it was getting very close. We were down by 2 runs, I think, towards the end of the game, and Shohei Ohtani was pitching, and Trout was up to bat. And I was like, when will you ever see something like that? 2 guys who are on the same team going at it for a world title, I guess, to say. When Japan, they're ridiculously good at baseball.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was curious about, because besides the season, it seems like that baseball can reach like peak busyness in the summer. So like what do your summers look like?
So usually once I finish high school season in late May, I'll have about 2 weeks off, and then I take off for some big events. I know like this summer I'm going, my first big event is with a travel team. I'm playing with the Louisiana Knights. I'm going to Atlanta for pretty big tournament. And then after that, I'll be home for about a week or so, and then I fly out for what is it? That's when the USA PDP League starts. I'll be out there for 10 days, and then after that, I'm going to some individual events like a Perfect Game National Showcase, like a 3-day thing, and then also we'll go to a thing called East Coast Pro. It's where that's a big major league event. You get selected to a team, and you're playing at the Hoover Met where the SEC tournaments play.
Yeah.
You're playing at that big stadium, and then there's about 400, 500 scouts in the stands, just sitting behind watching, and just taking notes on everything that you do. So that's a huge event. And then also I'll go to Seattle this summer. I'm gonna go to an all-American game. That'll be a cool event to do. And then after that, I'm kind of done for a while until late August. I go try out for that USA team. So it's a busy summer, but
a lot of traveling, moving around.
Yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of flights taken. But luckily this summer I have some periods where I have like a week and a half home, and I just really I would need that, because last summer I felt like I was just gone so much, and it started wearing on me. I was about tired of baseball by the end of the summer, but it's just part of it. I mean, it's a process that guys my age go through, and if you want to be the best and you want to play against the best, you got to travel. You can't just stay around here.
But so I guess when that downtime comes around, you really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I enjoy the bed. I just stay in the bed all day, and get up and get something to eat. Maybe go do a little hitting here and there, but just really try to get my body to 100% before I take off again.
So I guess last thing that I wanted to ask, because a lot of the athletes that I've worked with, I've interviewed, I've actually never asked them this question, but I've been curious because it's about pregame. If you have any like pregame rituals, because I've heard some really crazy pregame rituals. So if you had any that it doesn't have to be like something that you do every single time before a game.
Yeah,
it could be something completely unordinary, or it could be something that everybody does.
Right.
You just have any kind of interesting little rituals that you might do before a game?
I'd say I probably have two. A lot of people like listen to like rap music and stuff, getting prepared for a game,
getting locked in.
But I tend to listen to more of like kind of like meditation music, not really like words, just like peaceful sounds,
like a bamboo flute type music.
Deal? Just like it just like calms my nerves. A lot of people like to play amped up and stuff. When I'm at my best, I'm calm. I'm staying here. So that's something I do. Just listen to nice, relaxing meditation music, and it gets my heart slowed down and just feeling good, ready to go for the game. And then another one, me and Duncan Matthews, we always go out past the either the first base bag or the third base bag, and we always pray together. So that's something we do before every single game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Konnor, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. Thanks for letting us come in the locker room and everything. And I'll be checking you out later on this season and this summer, I guess.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Thank you to everybody who watched. We will see y'all next week. Peace.